Board. This is Allie Hatchett, Ken Newman, and we're sitting here with Uncommon Geek. Tell us a little bit about yourselves, what you do.
Sure. My name's Troy Copes. I started Uncommon Geek around May of 2011. It was kind of a replacement for another blog that I had. I was trying to combine photography and my geekiness together, and that didn't work out. So I created the Uncommon Geek, named so for me liking both Star Trek and Star Wars both equally, and at the time that was uncommon.
Equally, that is very uncommon.
Well, sometimes I lean more towards one than the other, but it shifts enough to balance it out. And it started out as me trying to chronicle my adventures through the long-running RPG we call life. And I kind of posted and not posted like a couple months on end, and then I stopped doing it for about 10 months, and I had to move out of Ohio. And then when I came back, I told myself that I would start it back up and not stop it. So I've been posting on it regularly every Wednesday for over a year now without missing a day. And now we have a total of 5 authors on the site. We're starting to, we also made the podcast, which has been very well received. And we're trying to break into the YouTube video scene, and that's slow coming. But slowly but surely, we're building up an audience and just trying to get awareness that we actually exist.
That sounds good. Now, what kind of media you guys use?
For the blog, we use WordPress. It seems to be the easiest to use, and for the podcasts, we use Libsyn as the hosting service.
Excellent. And as I say, we were trying to do like a cross interview thing. So I was gonna actually let Ken kind of do
Who we are? Well, let's get to this guy first.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
Let's finish him off.
Drew actually is he's a lot more famous than I am.
Oh please, no, I'm not. You're playing it up way too much. Before Troy decides to run with this, I am a twice self-published international author. And I'm also, we jokingly call me the monkey at the typewriter. I'm generally behind more of our long dialogues, and I'm going to be the basic front for until we get a video expert on our video side once we get going. I'm kind of the one who covers our tech stuff and our front line of games and geek culture as it pops up, while the rest of them generally cover various interests or like Daniel does
Daniel's been, our blog monkey Neo, as we call him.
Yeah.
He's been doing more of the the retro gaming stuff,
and he's Star Trek. He's been running through the episodes of those, reviewing them too. So
now you're an author of
sci-fi fantasy novels. The first 2 I've published out are basically they're kind of like apocalyptic, end of the world, way in the future. Things dealing with the universe that humanity's dragged to the brink of destruction through its warring ways. Taking my time, but about to finish the 3rd and final book in that trilogy, and hopefully get it out sometime in the next decade. It's been 3 years so far, so let's hope it's not another 3.
Well, good things are worth waiting for.
Hopefully.
Now, I see you guys, we've been sitting across from you guys for the past couple of days here, and I see you guys have the Star Wars and Star Trek battle. Okay, who's what? Star Wars or Star Trek?
Actually, it seems to be focused more on everyone checking both.
Yeah, we've got a lot of both at this con, which is surprising. Last time we had it, I think it had leaned heavily towards Star Wars.
I went to Gen Con and interviewed a lot of people, and it seemed to be more Star Wars than both or Star Trek in that respect.
I think it's like a 70% towards both at this one, which is surprising.
I haven't done an official tally, but it seems to be extremely well balanced, almost too close to call.
Oh, well, gee.
Wow.
I think Star Wars, I mean, I never really got my geek, muscles flexed too much, but I think I had to, go toward Star Wars and Star Trek.
Say Star Trek for me. I'm a Next Generation girl, so yeah.
Next Gen was my original series growing up.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's just what I always watched when I was growing up, and then more so, watch the original. But I mean, that's when I turn on the TV. That's what would be on. So, yeah.
So you're more of a Picard in the Battle of Kirk versus Picard.
Yes. Yeah, actually.
See, now I'm out of it now.
See, I know. Seriously.
All right, well, for you, we can give you an easy one. Do you prefer Luke or Anakin?
or Luke or Vader.
You know what?
Let's
Vader.
call him Vader.
Yeah. Okay,
This is
we'll go
the
with
young Vader Anakin. Yeah, sure, why not?
What did you think of the prequels then?
I was very skeptical. I mean, I never really got this. I remember I seen the Star Wars growing up, and then when they started coming out these the pre-Star Wars movies and stuff, the new ones that they came out with, I was really skeptical because I'm not a big CGI. I don't like CGI a whole lot. I'd rather stick to the whole basic effect work. Anything you can't do by hand, you shouldn't do it anymore, I think. But I don't know. I like the storyline, but I'm not too big a fan of the movies.
So are you excited to see what Disney's going to do with the next 3 episodes? Are you worried? Anything you're hoping comes back?
You know what? It's not holding weight in my life, so I'm hoping
I was going to say, have you seen the new Star Trek? The
Star
new
Trek?
ones.
No,
I'm
not at
telling
all.
you, the guy that directed them,
You'll-
he done well
J.J.
with
Abrams
those.
did a great
I'm
job.
telling you.
You'll probably like them. They're much more action-oriented than the old Star Trek. So
But I liked what he done
the hardcore
with it.
Star Trek fans like this one over here aren't fans.
It's
but take it
growing
from a
on
guy
me.
I
who
know,
started
but-
with Star Wars and moved to Star
He
Trek.
didn't-
You'll love them.
He didn't butcher it, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, what he done with it, I was happy with. So I thought, okay, he can do the Star Wars, and I'm not gonna freak out about it. 'cause
And
first of all,
Star
I'm not
Wars is
gonna
Abrams'
watch it.
baby. He flat out admitted when he got Star Trek that he's a fan of Star Wars and he wants to do that if he ever gets
Yeah.
the chance. And Disney called him a meeting like, "Yeah, we
Yeah.
want you. Let's do
Yeah.
this."
He's more of a
So-
fan of Star Wars than he was Star
So
Trek.
he'll
anyway.
definitely be a lot more loving to it. So I'm hopeful for what we're gonna get and excited to see, especially with the teasers that I'm trying my best to avoid as much as I can. There's been a
Yeah.
big back and forth going on with him and people on Batman versus Superman. The last image they posted had the Millennium Falcon with a Batmobile taped to the bottom, and then in one of the Batman versus Superman release shots had a bunch of what was it, stormtroopers being
Stormtroopers being arrested
arrested into the
in
Gotham City police car.
Oh
So they've been doing a little back and forth
Nice.
teasing. So it's been a fun ride with that. So
Yeah, I try to avoid all the previews. My neighbor came over and he's like, "You have to watch it." I'm like, "No, I literally will buy a movie based on who it's in, like who's in it, the director,
Yeah.
things like that. Like I don't like previews." And I worked in a movie store
Yeah,
for a while,
let's
and
not
he gets so
spoil
angry.
it.
Like, "You have to read. Where's this go? Read the back of it." No, like I'm not doing that. Just
It's like,
tell
no,
me
it has
where you
Keanu
want it.
Reeves in it. That's all I care about.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I'm not sure documentary or what. Just tell me where it goes. So, yeah.
Well, what about you guys? And since we're doing the cross promotion
Yeah,
thing,
well, yeah, sure.
tell us about who you are and
Well,
what you do.
I'm Ken Newman. I'm with ZTOTV. Zombie Takeover TV is a production that we do a lot of producing. We do advertising. We do event covering. We do music videos. We cover just about everything from cover girls to celebrities. I mean, we try our best to cover as much broad range as we can.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Our producer Frank, Frank. We call him Franklin because he walks like a Frankenstein. But he's probably one of the better editors I've seen ever. I mean, he's really good at taking videos and put them into good content.
Very cool.
I started with ZTO as their photographer. I seen a post put up that they needed someone to do some photography for them. And I had 3 days to pull something out of my ass. And I grabbed the first person I could find, which I got on their side to see who was wanting to be a cover girl. I was like, all right, call this person right up. And 2 days later, had a set of shots submitted, and they put it in for the next month, and I became a new photographer.
very nice.
Ever since I built my way up to video to helping direct that film this past summer that we did, Daughters of Our Lord,
Yeah.
which you'll find on our site and on YouTube.
Yeah.
And everything just pretty much went from there. The ranks just keep building, and here we are. Allie? Really?
Hello, loud car.
Yesterday wrestling, today cars. Awesome. They contacted me on Facebook. I work for a local law here in Cornfield, and
We're going to
found me
do this.
online, right? They found me online and liked my pictures and stuff like that. And they were like, "Hey, do you want to be a cover girl? Do you want to start doing this?" And it just led one thing to another. I started doing the Unfiltered show, and then now here we are at Epicon. Just build up.
That's really
Now, what all have you done with the ZTO TV store?
The Daughters of Our Lord, of course.
And what were you previously known for?
Harold's One in Cornfield doing the scare fair.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
I did not listen to any of that.
Yeah, well,
I am awesome like that.
Well, I mean, there was a
Yeah,
loud,
I was saying-
obnoxious car that kind of
Yes.
interrupted it. So
Good stuff.
So how did Zombie Takeover television start?
As far as I know, it was years and years and years ago.
Wasn't it they started media first?
No, it was when the UFO crashed. They did the reverse technology, and they found that you can make fiber optics, which eventually led to computers and
So it
other
started all the way
technical
back in
stuff.
1947. Wow.
No, Aaron and Frank, or Aaron and Josh Palmer, Aaron England and Josh Palmer. They worked together. They were a team that decided that they wanted to make some media and do some production. They did some music. They always did editing of music and stuff and helping musicians get their stuff out there. That was way back in high school, their high school years. They just pretty much built up till now, and then they just pretty much shut their foot in the doors and made things what they are now.
Yeah. So how did you guys then get your start? I mean, how long ago have you been doing this?
he's been at this for
Well,
probably
the site's been up since 2011, but the podcast and everything, it's been going on
8 months or so.
Actually, it's been
It's been a little longer.
when did it start?
Like I know you brought.
Either
How old
August,
are we now?
either August or September of last year.
Okay.
So it's been a little over a year.
And I know,
yeah.
I mean, podcasts really, a lot of people listen to. It's really grown that where people don't really listen to like the radio anymore. It's
Yeah.
all podcasts.
Yeah.
Even I know Frank started. He's doing a podcast and stuff. Like everybody's really into it. My neighbor, he's a truck driver, and he's like, radio. He's like, I find different podcasts, and we get people that are on there, and then he'll start listening to their podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's really cool.
I think as long as we got the Bubblegum Princesses putting up shit, I think we got the chance on the radio.
Yeah. Like he brought me on. Probably, I think it was for the third or fourth.
You were the third author.
Yeah, third podcast interviewing me because I'm a Tron aficionado. It's one of my big loves, and then for my books and everything. And then after that, he asked me I know you write and stuff. Would you be interested in contributing and stuff? I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, it's a great way to get out the geeky stuff, build up a portfolio. And
Question.
Yes.
It just dawned on me. Have you guys cussed yet?
I think I did at the very beginning of it. I think I
I was
may
gonna
have.
say, do you guys do a kind of censored or?
Our stuff or our podcast isn't rated, so listener
Okay.
discretion is
Okay.
advised.
Yeah.
Unless
Right.
it's really bad, like when I was interviewing my friend David, I'm gonna put a little disclaimer on that one.
We don't mind it or anything like that. Definitely.
Yeah, I think at the
Unfiltered
very
show.
beginning, I think I dropped something, but I'm not 100% sure. So
I typically say frack since I'm a BSG fan.
Frack.
Yep.
Nice.
Frack the fracking frackers.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and then you had Dan. I think you had Daniel on before me, Neo. He was he was the second one, and then your wife came on shortly after I did.
Yeah, I convinced
then-
her to write.
Yeah,
but
and she covers a lot of the
they're
nerdier
crafty,
crafts.
the crafty
Gotcha.
stuff.
And then probably what was it, 4 months ago, we got Mike and Matt on as well.
My friend Matt, I call him an occasional co-host. If you listen to the Nerdist podcast, Daniel's my Matt Myra, and then my friend Matt's my Jonah Ray, because Matt Myra's the hardcore co-host, and then the Jonah Ray in that podcast, he comes on occasionally. And my friend Mike, he's the reason why we're here at Epicon. He got us an interview with Sherry, and then that just kind of opened a lot of doors. And this has been a massively awesome networking opportunity as is presented here.
Well, let's
Yeah,
speak about
yeah.
this Epicon. How do you guys feel about Epicon so far?
It's been a really good opportunity for us. I know it has its shaky things, but
We'll call them hiccups.
Yeah, they're hiccups. But every con, I've worked at a couple of cons doing security, and no con has gone smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to put together any kind of an event,
Yeah.
especially
You get
this
too many people,
magnitude. Definitely, and I mean, I can say I'm surprised at the amount of people that showed up. I've
Yeah.
heard so many things.
I'm
that are
impressed
like,
with how
people
smooth
don't-
it's ran, with how much just
Yeah.
fell apart on them
Yeah.
at the last second.
Yeah.
They just bit off more than they could chew, and they're doing what they can to try and repair the damage.
Absolutely.
But it's just so much fell apart so fast. There's only so much you
Yeah.
can do
Yeah, but I mean, it's really filled up. I mean, if you look online at the pictures from last year and stuff,
Yeah,
I mean, this is a full floor.
Yeah, they've
got a lot of cool
like I think
stuff.
they said they have like 5 times the vendors they did last year and stuff,
Yeah.
and they actually had some of the artists that they canceled, which it sucks that they did originally, was because they had too many that agreed, so they canceled some, and then a bunch backed out. It's just the whole thing just smashed together too quick, and they didn't have the time. They had a couple sponsors pull out last second too on them, which made stuff so much harder on them.
Yeah,
But they've done a great job, and I know like a lot of the artists and the celebrities are here like have had a rough time and are upset, and it stinks that it's not been as good as it should have been for them. But it's still amazing how well it's run. And everything
I mean,
that's
all the
happened.
people that came together, definitely. I mean, I'm impressed.
Yeah, for as much
Really.
of stress that's been tossed around, I'm surprised that a lot of celebrities and the vendors are actually really nice.
Yeah.
How's it been for you guys? I mean, I've seen you do interview after interview after interview.
Yeah, you guys seem to be benefiting from this lull for them as much as we have with these interviews.
Yeah, we've really been trying to. If even like yesterday, it was like get on the floor and do the interviews because so many people were down there and it was so busy, and so it was like we had to get down there and it was really noisy. But I know you guys you just kind of go down there and do what you can.
You got to get what you can get out of it. So.
Yeah. So it's nice when we could get people up here and get a little more personable and get a little more footage.
Yeah.
But down there, just do what we can.
My problem is I'm extremely shy, so I'm like,
Camera.
Yeah. Video.
But
Where we
yeah,
at?
my friend Mike has been he used to do a zine back in the 90s, so he's interviewed a lot of people. So he's used to going up like, hey, would you like to do an interview? I know nothing about you. So he's been really good at getting a lot of audio for us.
That's good.
Yeah, this is actually my first hand really doing a lot of the podcast stuff. Other than an occasional like group one, I'm mainly just, like I said, behind the computer screen. And so today, I did a couple interviews myself, and then obviously this one as well. So I've been getting a lot more involved, and it's definitely tricky to go up to these people like cold and be like, hey, we want to interview you for something. You have no idea who we are. We barely know who
some
you
are
are.
very accepting, and some are just like, no.
Yeah, so
not
far,
happening,
so
go
far,
away.
all the ones that have declined on me have been very respectful about it. I tried to get C. Thomas Howell, and he just very respectful. He's like, I'm sorry, I don't really do interviews. He's like, but I appreciate you trying to do your thing and stuff, and I hope you do find a few more.
Yeah, that's
It was
a
at
good way
least
to
very,
do it.
he was
That's
very respectful
cool.
approach about
Instead
it.
of someone just saying no or just saying that they have their reasons and stuff. I like someone that's actually upfront and honest like that.
Yeah, so it was definitely very nice. So
Awesome.
it's been a good experience overall though for us. So.
Yeah.
Content-wise, the guys got any content spread out there yet?
Just the blog, the podcast. We're on Stitcher and iTunes. We're on Tumblr. We're on LO. We got in pretty early on that. Just do a Google search for Uncommon Geek, and you'll find where we're plugged in at.
Awesome. And say likewise, you'll find us at the ZTOTV on Facebook, and we have a Twitter. If you twat, you can twit.
It's tweet. Tweet is the correct vernacular. You're kind of off there, my friend.
It's almost the same.
Pretty much. I mean,
For the unfiltered.
if you do any of that stuff, we have one as well.
Yep, we're like I said.
We're pretty much on
Google
all
us,
the main feeds.
Yep, if you Google us, you can plug us into all your things.
Yeah, some of ZTOTV or Zombie Takeover TV. I mean, if you type in Google, like you said, you'll find something. So.
Yep, and podgoers are going to make it easy for you. It will be linked for you, so all you have to do is just click, and you're there.
Yep.
Well,
We're even taking Google out of the equation for you.
Well, this has been really awesome, guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
thank
for
you
having
Thank you
us.
so
so
much.
much.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, it's nice
definitely.
meeting you too.
Thank
Pleasure.
you.
Thank
Thank you. All right. Hey, we're signing off here. Thanks you guys for watching, and we're gonna get back to the con. See ya.
See ya.
You are watching Zombie Takeover TV. Join the Horde. Join the Horde.